Well, hello everyone, and welcome to DPG does his usual top 10 Reddit posts of the week. If you can't tell, I am not 100% here. My voice is very yucky today because I am sick. But so when I did my usual stuff, go on the Reddit top 10 posts of the week, it was nothing but GIFs and pictures. And I can't make a video about that, something extremely so boring. So this time I went on R News and actually got some pretty interesting posts to talk about today. Very first one we're going to be talking about today is Islamic State fighters rape and torture Sunni Arab women. They should have probably worded this right because the next thing that says Human Rights Watch, that I thought that meant like we had human rights people watching the rape and torture of a woman, but I misread that. I don't know if the post should have worked on that, but anyways. So the post talks about a incident that did happen recently about a Islamic woman trying to flee her area from a area that is controlled by, well, ISIS fighters. And of course they kidnapped her, forced her to marry one of their ISIS men. She refused, so they raped and tortured her in front of her children. Pretty horrific stuff across the world and the people. But this is why some people are trying to actually flee that area. But that's a whole different story for a conversation. Even though these kind of things are happening, will be happening, and probably always will be happening for the rest of our lives, we can at least lower it. The reason why we know about these instances more and more is because, well, technology, and that's something we can thank technology for. Look at, thank for, is things like this. But here's one that caught my eye a little bit, which was pretty much shocking. During a news press at the White House briefing, let's see, where's the post? Oh, here we go. Oh, I must have skipped one. My apologies. I thought I had it on here. And here's another post right here. 21 workers fired for taking part in Day Without Immigrants protest. Even though I commend them, they had the right to protest, but a lot of people have argued about, even though you have the right to protest, you do not have the right to the repercussions of protesting. Even though I believe those people shouldn't be fired, I don't know the stories behind that besides my 2 cents here. Maybe they shouldn't be fired, personally, especially on a type of protest like this. But again, everyone has different scenarios. Maybe they were having bad connections with their bosses. Maybe once the bosses found out that maybe they were immigrants, or so on and so forth. Maybe they didn't like their stance towards them, and you can get fired with your stance towards something like that. There's no law against that. Are you gay? No. Then it's like, okay, whatever. You might get fired for your stance on that, and I believe the boss has the right for that. I mean, there's other legal issues that can evolve from that, but that's every scenario is a little bit different when it comes to that. Senior Trump appointee fired after critical comments. Have that right here. Mr. Craig Deer was fired from Trump's appointee for making comments towards relations with Mexico and Latin America. This is about other comments about the whole wall scenario, which I personally do not support at all. There is much better ideas in order to stop illegal immigration, but a wall ain't gonna do it. You ever heard of? There is multiple ways they can get around that. One is a $20 ladder. And people argue, it's like, oh, they're going to put sensors in the ground. Like, sensors break. It's just how it is, especially in scenarios of there could be floods. All you need is one person to break those sensors and one person to know where those sensors are. It's not that hard. There's so many ways around this. And don't we already have kind of a wall, kind of a fence area in multiple areas? But, let's waste $20 billion and not help people in Flint, Michigan, not help people in America to get good birth control, not help people to get actual jobs, not help veterans, not help. I could go down the list when it comes to that, but let's spend $20 billion on a wall that we are technically paying for, people. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's go into a little bit lighter news. Former President Carter leases 10 acres of his farmland to build 1.3 megawatt solar panel station. Thank you, former President Carter. More solar power, the better. Every little bit counts. It's going to take time for everyone to start getting to pure natural energy like that, from solar to wind to even, oh God, what's it called? River, where they put the wind turbines in the water. But anyways, I didn't look that up because I wasn't gonna put that in my conversation. I just thought of on the spot at the moment. But here's something that's pretty interesting. CNN banned from the White House press briefing. That one actually shocked me pretty much, since they're, you know, seniors compared to being those press conference. But apparently they weren't the only ones. NYT, LA, Political, and BuzzFeed were also banned. To be honest, BuzzFeed, not too much of a shocker beyond there. They're a very, very liberal news article, and you know, I may be in the middle when it comes to everything. Even still, I can understand them being cut up, but we're talking about New York Times, LA, and Politico being banned. Those are very, very popular news articles, and CNN, which is known not to, they're not 100% correct, but still. But you allowed Fox News, ABC, CBC, NBC, but not CNN. One of the biggest news stations there are, but you let all the other ones in. Interesting. I just thought that was interesting. Of course, you gotta go into something a little bit more detailed as the days go on, but that was a few days ago. Hopefully, there's more stories about that, but I didn't really. I put more research time into other stuff. But here's something I did agree with. Here's something I could talk about really easy. Maine asked feds to allow ban on food stamps for candy and soda. We're not talking about food stamps altogether. We're talking about banning on candy and soda, which I am in 100% agreement. I personally believe that people who are on food stamps who are allowed to buy candy and soda gives a bad taste to people who actually use it for good. I have seen both sides. I am sick of people being allowed to use EBT stamps for food and soda in certain areas. I don't know what it is in my state, but if Maine allows it, then maybe they should not allow it anymore. They shouldn't. Why are you allowed to use food stamps for something that's nothing but sugar, carbs, fat, and worse for you? Use it for some good stuff. At least, for God's sakes, juice. Juice of all goddamn things. But no. Okay. Jeff Sessions is apparently in support of private prisons, which, if you know my background, what my degree is, I think that's an idiotic idea. Why do we need private prisons? We do not need those kinds of prisons anymore. But apparently he's also in support of more bans on marijuana. Pfft, shocker. Whatever. You know, I hate the idea of more private prisons. I hate the idea of putting more pressure on people with marijuana. But you know what? Everyone's a little bit different. Hopefully we can figure that out. Alright, I'm done for today, people. This sickness is starting to get to me. I do thank you for listening. Y'all have a good day. Do something good. Love ya.